Today I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cards video. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down how I have made over $20,000 quick flipping Michael Jordan's 1986 Fleer rookie card. Now, before we get into that, I did want to say a little bit about our membership program, because our membership program has been able to predict the market time and time again. Now, most recently, one of our great picks has been, of course, Jordan Poole. We've been recommending him for quite a while. On March 21st, when Steph Curry went out for the rest of the regular season, we started to recommend his 2019 Prism Silver for around $40 ungraded. Back in December of 2020, we had recommended his Select Rookies for around $3. And then on May 24th, we recommended his PSA 10 Prism Silvers for $160. And currently they're going for $785. So that's a quite big profit. And if you guys would like to join in and get these reports so you can understand and get a sense of what you would like to buy, kind of get some recommendations, get some guidance, go ahead, click the link down below to sportscardsinvest.com if you're interested. But without further ado, I'm going to hop right into this video. So essentially what I've been able to do with Michael Jordan's 86 Fleer is really understand and spend a lot of time figuring out how this market works, and how you can really take advantage of that. So essentially, I understand the pricing of every single grade, and therefore I'm able to take advantage when a card sells for under market. And that happens a lot with these Michael Jordan Fleers. Now, for example, there's some days where there's just so many auctions ending that stuff ends up going for less than usual. And I feel very comfortable with the 96 or an 86 Michael Jordan Fleer rookie card. So worst case, I'm always fine holding. But essentially what I'm trying to tell you guys is there's a lot of money to be made with auctions that end low. Now, for example, we can see his BGS 8 sold for $6,300, one sold for $6,500, one sold for $6,500 again, one sold for $6,500. So this is essentially a $63 to $6,500 card. The one before did $6,200. So essentially this card is between $6,200 and $6,500. Now there are so many buyers for this card that essentially, at least if I'm going to sell it on Facebook, at shows, or in person, to shops or whatever, I can get quite close to this number. To be honest, I have moved these cards very recently for $6,400. His BGS 8, and I understand there are different subgrades that do command different prices. That's part of the journey of understanding how that works. But as you see here, one just ended for $5,500. So that essentially leaves me with a free $900 profit margin for essentially doing nothing. I understand the centering on this is an 8, but let me tell you, this stuff still sells. And I'll be very upfront. Like, you can definitely move this card for between $6,300 and $6,500 if you put a little bit of work in on Facebook groups, on Instagram. For me, it's usually Instagram, but for a lot of people, Facebook groups is probably the way to go for this. And you could even trade into different cards and try to up your value, because this is incredible trade bait. There's often times where I've been able to get around $7,000 to $7,500 cards in exchange for a Michael Jordan BGS 8, for example. So this is essentially free money when there's so many auctions that end on a day, and this ends up coming in a little bit short at $5,500. You can essentially quick flip that. Now, I know my comment section is going to be flooded with people saying, oh my god, there's fees, there's this if you want to flip it, which I get all the time. But let me tell you, there's no reason you should be selling a Michael Jordan Fleer BGS 8 or any Michael Jordan Fleer on eBay. That's probably not the way to go. If you sell that on Golden, if you sell that anywhere else in person, you're going to get a better price, just because eBay is not very trusted with these. So you definitely want to be careful even when buying, to make sure you're buying from a reputable seller on eBay. But let me tell you, in person, I definitely can see you netting $6,300 to $6,500 for that. And you essentially are holding not much risk, because this is a very steady card. And you have a lot of upside. Same goes with every other grade. If you can only afford a PSA 1, you could still do this. Or with any other card, if you can understand the market, you can essentially arbitrage and buy for lower, sell for higher. It happens all the time. You can do it all the time. So, for example, a BGS9 is a $13,500 card, whereas one had sold for 11.8, and that even has very good subgrades. So, it has a 9.5 subgrade, and it's still sold for lower with the 9.5 centering, which is a very desirable subgrade. And as you see here, someone who had bought it for 11.8 could essentially be getting around 13.5 for these all day. I definitely think whoever bought this right now could make $1,700 profit if they were to sell this in person. So that's, just kind of something I would say you guys should keep in mind. If you don't have the budget and you want to go with other stuff, there's definitely a market for that. As we see here, one even sold as low as 10.9. So you should be, if you have the budget, I would say that's a no-brainer. If you can buy that for 10.9, you can sell that all day for 13 at minimum. So that's free profit right there. If you can just study and understand these cards, I would honestly suggest doing it with only very steady cards. If you have a little bit lower of a budget, I would say like LeBron's 2003 Topps could be a good way to do it. So for example, like a BGS 9 of his 2003 Topps should not be very expensive, comparatively at least. So I do think there's a lot of room if you can just flip these as well. As we see here, around a $500 card. So if you can find other, if one, for example, sells a little bit lower, I'm sure there's going to be in the next five, one that sells for $650 and one that sells for $400. And that's just kind of how the market works. Not everything is perfect, and there's kind of some leeway where you can make some money. And as we see, a lot of people take the average of like the last 5 sales to sell a card, because some sales come in high, some sales come in low. And if you can find those cards that are coming in low, you can make a good profit here. Even if you're just buying these at $500 all day, knowing you can flip them at $600, it's not bad. If you keep doing that over and over again, you will eventually be able to master the market and buy and flip these. So I do think it's great to kind of understand a card or a sector of the market. I've always recommended my members to kind of really zone in if you're an Optic 2018 basketball person, and you just want to really master, the market of 2018 Optic basketball and just buy and sell that market. You can do that and make a lot of money. As long as you put in the hours, you do the homework, you understand what cards go for what, and then you're able to kind of find those deals and make your margins. So I still think there's a lot of money to be made in the market. You guys really just have to, I would say spend a lot more time than before, but I think you can definitely make a living from this, in my personal opinion, but it will take some time. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you would like to join in on the program, the link is down below. But without further ado, I really hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'm out. Peace.